Welcome to another episode of Sundry Sports. We're going to be fast. Well, we'll see. We're going to try to be fast. Cowboys Wire. Cowboys won't profit much as NFL adds COVID cap space to 32 teams. The landscape for the NFL is constantly changing amid the coronavirus panic. COVID cap space. Elliott defiantly rejects idea Cowboys wide receiver trio will steal his touches. Well, yeah, it's all about balance. I don't think that they will. Amari Cooper this week set the bar awfully high for himself and his pass-catching cohorts in Dallas. If he, Michael Gallup, and rookie CeeDee Lamb all have 1,000-yard seasons, I think that's the subject matter. I just want them to do well, because honestly, the better they do, the more production Elliott will be able to make. Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory vents on being stuck in limbo over reinstatement. I'm sure it must be very frustrating. When defensive end Aldon Smith was signed by the Cowboys in April, it was seen as a calculated gamble by the Dallas front office. But now he's applied for reinstatement and the NFL won't say yes or no. Fucking sucks. Siwo Olanilua, path to making Cowboys roster paved with opportunity. The Dallas Cowboys had their third player opt out of the 2020 season when fullback Jameez Olawale elected to sit out due to health concerns. Yeah. Cowboys news. Top 5 offense, possibly best NFL wide receiver group in over a decade. Uni Watch. Is that new? That sounds... I know I bitch about this almost every time, but whoever decides the order of the headlines that get put up here should be fired. Burying something that's actually new. Cowboys news. Gallup leap in year 3. Yes, Michael Gallup a dynamic slot option. Amari Cooper. Cowboys expectations are for 3 1,000-yard receivers. Yeah, that was what... Well, you know what? My expectations are to also have a 1,000-yard running back. And if we all work together like this, then I'm sure we can get it done. Former Cowboys tight end Martellus Bennett. I hated Jason Witten. What? What, because he was just the best? NFL sets training camp dates for Cowboys, charts course for on-time season. Yes. Next up is the ESPN Daily. Good morning. Yesterday was a big day. Aaron Judge hit his 7th homer in 10 games. Alex Caruso dunked, and I moved my car for the first time in 2 weeks. Here's your ESPN Daily. Okay. Listen up. Allegations of abuse at NBA China academies. A recent ESPN investigation uncovered allegations of abuse, as well as a lack of schooling for athletes at 3 NBA China basketball academies. I wasn't aware the NBA had basketball academies in China. That also explains a lot. The report comes at a time when scrutiny surrounding the NBA's relationship with China has never been greater. In October, Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey tweeted his support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong, prompting a severe reaction from China, which included pulling NBA broadcasts from the country's airwaves despite the league's widespread popularity there. Investigations into human rights abuses in the Xinjiang province, where one of the basketball academies was located, have also prompted many to criticize the NBA's ties to China. How did that get started? Just because apparently China likes basketball? I wonder why China likes basketball so much. On today's episode of the ESPN Daily Podcast, ESPN investigative reporter Steve Finaro brings us his latest reporting on what happened inside the NBA China academies and how the league is addressing concerns. We scrolled Twitter so you don't have to. 2020 as told by Stephen A. Smith. I fucking can't stand this man's face, and here you are showing me 9 of them. Mood. That's it. That's the explainer. Okay. Things to care about. The guys who can and cannot win the PGA Championship. At long last, our wait is over. We get to see the first golf major of 2020. If that weren't enough, the 102nd PGA Championship also promises a rare glimpse of Tiger Woods, who has played only 4 competitive rounds since February. Woods, 44, will try to win for the 83rd time in his storied career, which would break a tie with Sam Snead for most in tour history. He will also try for the 4th time to win his 16th major championship, which would put him 2 behind Jack Nicklaus. On a non-Tiger related note, Brooks Koepka will attempt to capture the Wanamaker Trophy for the 3rd straight year. If the 2-time defending champion can pull it off, he would become the first player to three-peat at the PGA Championship in the stroke play era since 1958. No pressure, no diamonds. As you can see, even though there won't be any fans or crowd roars, the tourney shouldn't lack in the drama department. While the plotlines surrounding Tiger and Koepka are undoubtedly spicy, they're far from the only guys vying for the trophy. And thus, we took a look at each of the players in the field and separated them into 3 tiers. The guys who can win if everything goes right, and hey, miracles happen. Sure, our naming conventions might sound a little harsh, but that's showbiz, baby. NFL Training Camp Chronicles. Another day, another round of NFL Training Camp revelations. While camps across the league are struggling with the uncertainty of preparing to play a season amid the coronavirus panic, there are certain parts that feel shockingly normal. Players showing off new threads, teammates building chemistry, Stephon Diggs downplaying his trade request with the Vikings, etc. The newly minted Washington football team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, showed off the jersey numbers that will appear on its helmets in place of a logo, which earned approval from superfan Dale Earnhardt Jr. Whatever. Baker Mayfield arrived at Browns camp having added 4 pounds of lean body mass while also cutting body fat, and after a short contract dispute followed by long and tough discussions about opting out of the season. Niners running back Raheem Mostert has decided to play. On the other hand, the Miami Dolphins lost their second receiver in as many days when Albert Wilson opted out of the season due to concerns about the coronavirus, joining Allen Hurns. In Nashville, Tennessee, the Titans are still waiting on their biggest free agent acquisition, linebacker Vic Beasley, to show up. And I thought the Raiders' season of Hard Knocks was anxiety-inducing. Knock on wood if you're with me. Oh, and I thought the Raiders' season of Hard Knocks was anxiety-inducing. Okay, whatever. Things to watch. Caruso takes flight. Are you being clever with somebody's name there? Last night's NBA matchup between the Lakers and the Thunder was full of surprises, namely Oklahoma City pulling off the upset, Danny Green's shooting woes, Lil Wayne high-fiving a fellow virtual fan, and one Alex Caruso taking flight for a tomahawk slam. More Caruso, more life. Okay. Overheard. If I had to choose, and I hate doing that shit, I'll go with Clippers and Bucks for the championship, and I'll go with the Clippers. Kevin Durant on who he thinks will win the 2020 NBA title. Remember when? On this date in 1965, David Robinson was born. The Admiral made 10 All-Star teams, was the 1995 NBA MVP, won 2 NBA titles and 2 Olympic gold medals, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009 and 2010 for his Olympic performance. Pretty good. What's on today? Well, there's a bunch of stuff that we missed today. I know, I suck. I suck at this. Until next time, remember, it was March 4th, the last time I talked about which 3 celebrities would be invited to my dinner party. I would like to publicly amend that invite list, again, to include Alex Caruso. As the kids would say, it's gonna be lit. This has been your ESPN Daily for Thursday, August 6th, 2020. That's all for that. Now, Yahoo Sports Read and React. PGA Championship Primer. What will Tiger do? Why Rob Manfred believes MLB's COVID protocol will work. Derek Carr is tired of being disrespected. Is Melo a Hall of Famer? Damian Lillard thinks so. Washington reveals its new helmet logo. That's, the Washington Redskins, by the way. Can he be stopped? By Jay Hart. Under the caveat of we know, the season is still very much up in the air. Let's talk Super Bowl. Yeah, in August. Well, some people are mock drafting for 2021 in August of 2020, so might as well do this. As NFL training camps get going, our boy Frank Schwab revealed his preseason number 1, and it's the Lamar Jacksons. Why is that pluralized? Wonders Schwab. Why couldn't Lamar Jackson keep going down the Patrick Mahomes path and follow up an MVP season in year 2 with a Super Bowl MVP his 3rd season? The Ravens went 14-2 in 2019, and it's possible their roster is better this season. C. The additions of Calais Campbell and Earl Thomas. Really, though, it all comes down to Jackson and this number, 66.1. That was his completion percentage last season. While stat talk is insanely boring, not always, this one is worth paying attention to, because if he's completing passes at that clip, which, by the way, was better than Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, there's really no stopping him, because we know he's going to get his running the ball. And if he gets his passing the ball, that's going to open up his running game even more, which in turn will open up his passing game even more, and on it goes, all the way to Tampa. This is what makes Lamar Jackson so dangerous, and why the idea that defensive schemes will eventually catch up to him hasn't played out. You can scheme against a running quarterback, you can scheme against a passing quarterback, but how do you scheme against the best running quarterback the game has ever seen, who also doubles as one of the more accurate throwers in the league? The question going into Jackson's sophomore season was more of a concern. After completing just 58% of his passes as a rookie, could he improve on the biggest weakness in his game? He did, and then some. The question going into his 3rd season is more of a wonder. Is Lamar Jackson on his way to becoming one of the greats? Let's hope there's a season to find out. Paler, Hot Take Wednesday. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? Thamel, college football officials can feel the tidal wave coming. Oz, Q&A with Ronald Acuna Jr., life on the field without fans. It's probably super depressing. Teal Steel, Gardner Minshew channeling his inner Derek Zoolander. Very good. Thanks for reading today's issue of Read and React. And that's it for Sundry Sports. Thank you and good night.